Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko SA series of door bottoms, their DV series specifically, which is a dark bronze anodized aluminum residential quality automatic door bottom with a vinyl insert for a surface mount application. So let's start from the beginning and discuss the Pemko SA door bottoms. First of all, and I have one right here that we're going to go over in a moment. Okay, this video is taking the place of 4 videos basically because Pemko offers the SA surface mount automatic door bottom in 4 lengths. They have an SA1, which is 28-inch length. They have an SA2, which is 36-inch length. They have an SA3. No, forgive me. Start over. They have an SA1 that's 28-inch. They have an SA2 that's 32-inch. They have an SA3 that's 36-inch, and then an SA4 that's 42-inch. Those are the sizes. So the 1 equal 28-inch, the 2 equal 32-inch, the 3 equal 36-inch, and the 4 equal 42-inch. If you were to say, give me an SA4 in 36-inch, well, we'd say, well, the 4 means 42-inch, so do you want an SA3, which is 36, or an SA4, which is 42? That's just how it goes. Pemko makes these in the mill aluminum finish and then the dark bronze finish. And this model here is the D, which is the dark bronze finish. This happens to be an SA3. It's a 36-inch long unit. So the rest of the part number, the D stands for the color, the V stands for vinyl, a standard typical item that you're going to use in sealing material of gasketing, door sweeps, perimeter gasketing, thresholds, if it's a bump-up latch track style, and of course automatic door bottoms. Now, the SA series by Pemko is what they call residential duty. It is the lightest duty that Pemko manufactures in terms of just the quality, the features of this unit, the wall thickness of the material, etc. However, this is a very appropriate use for residential applications. It's extremely simple to understand and to install, okay? And first I'd like to go over what is an automatic door bottom. A lot of people say, I have no concept of how that works. And yeah, I understand. However, it's also something overthought right away. The bottom line principle of an automatic door bottom is this. When the door closes, the bottom of the unit drops down and seals against the sill. It works that simply. The SA series works a little bit different than other series by Pemko, but the principle is the same. You've got something projecting out of the edge of an automatic door bottom, whether it's an SA or it's there are other ones that are considered for more commercial use. When the item that's sticking out of the edge, let's call it the plunger. While this doesn't look like a plunger, let's call it a plunger. When the plunger strikes the frame as the door is being pushed closed, it has nowhere to go but down. Okay? So what happens is, think about, and obviously you might be, well, maybe you're not there yet, but these can only be installed on the push side of the door. Here's how it works. When this is installed on the push side of the door and the door is open, this is just like you see it here. But when the door is closing, this area here with the little plastic tip on it, it comes in contact with the frame. And as the doors continue to be pushed closed, this has nowhere to go but in because the door is being pushed closed. And it's the action of the door closing, forcing this into the housing, forcing the rest of it to drop down. Okay? It's that simple how these work. Now the other models by Pemko are very similar. This track is not hanging out of the end. There is an actual plunger up in here that's connected to a flat spring, and when that flat spring bows, when it's compressed, it forces the bottom to drop down. But this model works just like this. Okay? So when that's pushed in, it drops down. And your maximum drop on this is a 1/2 inch. So you might be thinking, okay, now how do we install it? Well, that's pretty easy as well. The bottom line, and there's instructions that are going to be included, but the cliff notes of the instructions are this. you order your SA1, SA2, SA3, SA4. Okay. You're going to have to trim it down. For sure you will. This is going to be, again, installed on the push side only. With the door closed, measure the distance between the stops and then deduct about 1/8 of an inch, and that's the actual size you want to cut this to. Okay? Or if you want, order the next longest piece or pieces and indicate in the comment field what actual length you want us to cut it or them back to, and we'll cut it to you for length. But assuming that you just ordered an off-the-shelf SA3 like this, okay, installation is this. You can see that there's a little hole here. Then you can see that there are holes here. These bigger holes out here are for the screws, the 3 screws that are included for attaching to the door. So it's going to look like this. That screw is going to go in, and obviously you've got the other screws. Look like that on your push side of the door. So that's what those holes are for. But back to this little hole. You're going to get included with this 2 little nails, and you need these little nails. And I'll explain why in a moment, but you'll get 2 little nails. You'll need them both. For right now, use one of them to hold the automatic door bottom down. Push it in, and what happens when you do that, that hole in the outer housing lines up with the hole that's on the inside, and you can see the light pop out there. That's going to hold this. I'm just going to do it here on my desk. That's going to hold it in the projected position. I've got that pin in there forcing it to stay down. Now, this is the emulated condition of it being sealed. So, installation. Close your door. Measure off between the 2 stops. Deduct about 1/8 of an inch. Cut it. Then, place this onto the face of the door with the nylon little bumper here sealed up firmly against the stop. This vinyl is in its full projected situation at this point. It won't drop anymore. Make sure that this is nice and sealed against the sill. It's okay if it's not level. Okay, it can tolerate a little bit of a sill being out of level, or maybe a door not being plumb. Mark your holes. Pre-drill them. Okay, attach this to the door. Well, remove the pin. Pre-drill your holes, attach it to the door. But before you've done that, you've removed the nail, not the pin. Okay, so remove the nail. Pre-drill your holes. Remove the nail. With the door open, obviously, attach it to the door. And then when you close the door, you should be all set. That should work just perfectly. Assuming that there's no problem at that point, and I'm sure that there won't be because it's just that simple. Those 2 nails, the one that you temporarily use to hold the bottom down, is for this little piece of metal here. And this little piece of metal, it's just a scar plate. It's to be attached to the frame. Okay, 2 little nails. It's going to be attached to the frame in the exact location where that nylon little bumper is going to make contact with the frame, so that over time you're not going to create a divot or a worn out area in your stop. This is the little scar plate that's going to go on the face of the frame, so every time the door closes, the bumper will hit the metal and not damage your wood frame. Installation is done at that point. You're just done. Should work great. And even a residential lower end model like this should really last a really long time. The nice thing about automatic door bottoms is they don't present anything to the floor when you're opening and closing the door, dragging something against the floor. They only get involved when the door is closed, just that last few degrees of the door closing. And as a result of that, all they do is drop down and seal up against the sill, whatever that might be. Because you're not dragging this vinyl across anything, this stuff should last quite a long time. Now, vinyl is not the best option for exterior use because it will degrade with exposure to UV, and extreme temperatures. It's just not the best choice. If you want a heavier duty version, by all means reach out to us and let's discuss it. Now, before we go further, I did want to make painfully clear, I said that you cut it down when you've got that in the thrown position, okay, with that nail in there. That's because you need to be able to trim the other end. You never trim this side with the bumper. You only trim this opposite side, which is the lock side of the door. When the door bottom is in the projected position, I'm putting the nail back in. Okay. Nail set in there. That's the hinge side. That's the lock side. At this point, you can put this onto a miter box, a carbide tip miter box saw, and you'd be able to cut that really well. Wouldn't be a problem. Or, you know, a hacksaw would be a lot of cutting. I wouldn't want to do it with a hacksaw. I'd want a 60-tooth carbide, and I'd want to go through it clean one time and be done with it. Or order it from the factory and just let them cut it. It'll come to you, you'll be done, you'll drill 3 pilot holes, screw it on, 5 minutes, you're done. So, word to the wise, you cut this end, the lock end, when it's in the thrown position, not when it's tucked up, because if you cut it when it's tucked up, you're not going to have a consistent seal across. Any questions on the Pemko SA series of automatic door bottoms or any other Pemko product, a full-line manufacturer of weather stripping, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.